Okay, good morning, everyone. Is everybody ready? You good? Okay. So it's my honor, again, to be standing with law enforcement leaders in southeastern Pennsylvania to discuss successful collaboration that will make our community safer. Today, we're here to announce Operation Clean Sweep, which was a months-long effort to identify and shut down pipelines of drug deliveries from Philadelphia, specifically Kensington, to the surrounding communities in Bucks, Delaware, and Montgomery counties. I'm joined today by the district attorneys of those counties, as well as leaders of state police and municipal police departments, including representatives from, and I'm going to let you know who all is here. We have Philadelphia Police Deputy Commissioner Pedro Rosario. We have Superintendent of the Upper Darby Police Department, Timothy Bernhardt. We have Ted Krimmel, who is Chief of Lower Southampton Police Department. Dave Splain, Chief of Nether Providence Police Department. We have Montgomery County District Attorney Kevin Steele, Bucks County District Attorney Jen Shorn, Delaware County District Attorney Jack Stolzheimer. We have police chiefs from Montgomery County. A lot of them are here with us today. Upper Merion Police Chief Blaine Lice. Did I say that right? Lease, sorry. Okay. Lower Merion Township Police Superintendent Andy Block. Springfield Township Police Chief Michael Pitkow. Abington Township Police Chief Patrick Malloy, White Marsh Township Police Chief Christopher Ward, Cheltenham Township Police Chief John Slavin, and Upper Moreland Township Police Chief Scott Bending. And so I want to welcome everyone. Thank you for being here with us. So you're going to hear from some of these individuals shortly about the specifics on who was arrested, what was seized, and how those actions impact their respective communities. Before I turn it over to my partners, I wish to say this. Fentanyl and other deadly poisons are not contained to any specific street, corner, block, neighborhood, city, or county. Those poisons are easily transported by predatory dealers. Last week, the Philadelphia Police Commissioner Bethel described it best. Drugs and the violence that stem from the organizations that peddle them are not just city issues. These are Commonwealth issues. Commonwealth issues. In other words, if it's not in your town today, it could be tomorrow. That's how quickly fentanyl and other deadly narcotics can move. And that's why they are such a threat to every single community throughout the Commonwealth. Any solution to the transport and movement of these killer narcotics must involve, at its foundation, collaboration between law enforcement. Standing with me today are a number of offices and departments who, in my first year as Attorney General, have been stalwart partners in efforts to curb the drug trade and violence in all of our communities. As a district attorney, I saw them as colleagues who work that I tried to emulate. As Attorney General, I get to call them partners in our shared mission of community safety. In these investigations, the Office of Attorney General provided manpower and resources to conduct surveillance, identify dealers, and track their movements as they moved product to and from Philadelphia. Primarily in this operation, we are talking about transports of bulk narcotics from Kensington to Bucks, Delaware, and Montgomery counties, where they were then resold on the street. Just last week, I had the honor to be in Philadelphia with some of these same partners to discuss the record amount of 50 million fentanyl doses taken off the streets of the Commonwealth so far this year, including 27 million doses here in southeastern PA. We talked about Philadelphia's role as a source city, a supply hub for every county in Pennsylvania and beyond. And one thing that I've learned during my time previously as DA and now as Attorney General is that these what are called big city problems, as some people say, they are definitely not contained just to the big city. When big cities like Philadelphia thrive, its neighbors thrive, the entire Commonwealth thrives, and we suffer along with it when crime is allowed to fester. We are all in this together. Everything that each one of us does impacts each other, not just here, but all throughout the entirety of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. This operation here has a dual result, as it creates a safer Philadelphia and a safer Pennsylvania. Its impact is felt on the surrounding counties of Philadelphia just as much as it's felt within the city. Because we are all in this together, We will all struggle together. We will all succeed together. And it's my hope, it is my expectation that we will continue to make significant progress that increases public safety together as a team. I'm so beyond proud to be part of this team that you see before you today. I look forward to continuing this collaboration to make sure that there is no safe harbor for those who seek to peddle poison in our communities. This message is very simple. Working together, we are actively engaged in trying to disrupt drug traffickers and those who cause mayhem in our communities, and I will not rest in these efforts. I say this every time I have an opportunity to speak on the issue of fentanyl, but when I was a kid, if you made a mistake, you might not feel well for a day. In today's world, it is an absolute reality that one mistake from a child, from a teenager, or from an adult with any of these powerful, painful drugs can equal death. And it is incumbent upon us to do everything in our power to not only attack the supply, which is what we're here to talk about today, but also attack the demand. And that's through helping people get into treatment when it's warranted and when it can be done, because we have to do both. And not only are we here to talk about a fantastic operation, but I always want to reemphasize while I'm standing here that all throughout Pennsylvania, the DAs standing with me today and DAs all throughout the Commonwealth, in addition to police chiefs and law enforcement leaders, are doing everything they can to remove the supply and to help people that do need help. And that can happen, and it is happening. And so I thank everyone for being here today. I thank them for their efforts. And I would next like to introduce the Montgomery County District Attorney, Kevin Steele. Thank you, Kevin.
Great. Thank you, General Sunday. Thanks for being here. I'm excited to talk about Operation Clean Sweep. When we look at this, one of the realities that we all faced is that Philadelphia has been at the epicenter of supplying dangerous drugs to drug dealers and those who suffer from substance abuse disorder for a long time. And we need to partner in that, and so appreciative of the Philadelphia police for their partnership in this. You know, with the rise of fentanyl 10 years ago, and xylazine more recently, which has only certainly made this problem worse for us. But the drug trafficking problem is not a Philadelphia problem. It's a problem for every one of us in Southeast Pennsylvania and for our law enforcement community to combat. It's a problem that we all share, since some of our residents are the ones who are going in and out of Philadelphia to get those drugs, to sell them on the street, to sell them to our residents, and to drive on our streets under the influence of these drugs. So we're all impacted. We've all been seeing these drugs coming into our counties, and we've all seen our residents becoming addicted and dying from drug overdoses. We've all seen this problem impact our communities and impact families and impact our roadways. It impacts the quality of life. So today we are standing as one, law enforcement in southeastern Pennsylvania, to tell you that we've taken a shot across the bow in this latest war with drug traffickers. And it was a success. It was the first wholesale all-in at once operation where we stopped people coming out of Philadelphia after buying illegal drugs, and we stopped them as they came into our counties. So I want to talk for a moment here about some of the numbers. Operation Clean Sweep targeted the flow of illegal drug substances from known trafficking areas in Philadelphia to the 3 collar counties by stopping and arresting individuals that were transporting these drugs and who were engaging in criminal behavior. During the 2 phases of Operation Clean Sweep, which took place during 5 days in September and then 5 days that ended on October 31st, 2025, law enforcement conducted 327 traffic stops, finding and seizing illegal drugs with a street value of more than $365,000. The drug seizures include fentanyl, heroin, methamphetamine, cocaine and crack cocaine, PSP, oxycodone, Suboxone, Xanax, shrooms, codeine, and marijuana. In addition to these illegal substances, 12 illegal firearms were seized, and one of those firearms was immediately identified as stolen. We are looking into the others as well. We also recovered a stolen vehicle out of Cheltenham Township. In total, 102 individuals were arrested, including several people who were arrested on outstanding warrants. The majority of the arrests, 94 of them, were for drug-related charges, including possession with intent to deliver and possession of a controlled substance. So we're pleased with the results of the first and second rounds of this sweep. When we talk about the first and second rounds of the sweep, please understand that this will not be the last. And that's one of the messages that I think it's important to get out here today. The drug traffickers need to beware. They're on notice now. You will not be able to drive across Philadelphia after obtaining illegal drugs and drive back into Montgomery County or any of these collar counties, because our police officers, a lot of who are represented today from the different departments, are watching and waiting, and they'll be prosecuted. We don't play in Montgomery County, and I want that word out loud and clear. So I want to thank everyone, our numerous law enforcement agencies that are here, as well as all the others that participate and played a role in this. I also want to thank the analysts that worked on this, and they combined with analysts from all of the different jurisdictions, the DIVIC in Philadelphia, and really did a lot of excellent work to get us in this spot. But none of us could have done this successful operation alone. Especially want to thank my fellow district attorneys, DA Shorn and DA Stoltheimer. These collaborative efforts make our communities stronger. And General Sunday, I want to thank you for your ongoing support in this effort. We could not have done this at the level that we did it without a lot of agents, out working the streets with us, and the technology that the Attorney General's office brings to these efforts. Your leadership in this area is very much appreciated, and on behalf of all of us, I thank you for that. So now I get to turn it over to my partner, Jen Shorn, the District Attorney of Bucks County. Our offices work in a collaborative fashion on a daily basis, and our detectives work very close together. So it gives me a great honor to introduce Jen Shorn.
This collaborative drug interdiction effort is a game changer in identifying drug dealers who are dealing poisons to our counties and into the literal hands of our loved ones. And I could not be more grateful to stand with General Sunday, DA Steele, and DA Stoltheimer, and all of the men and women in law enforcement, many represented behind me, and including the Philadelphia Police Department. We stand together, and when we do, we are stronger. This is the literal definition of a force multiplier. And those who are dealing and manufacturing these poisonous drugs should be on notice that together we will identify you, we will prosecute you, and you will pay the price for what you're doing to our communities. I could not be more proud to work with the men and women standing behind me and all of our partners in this endeavor. And I will tell you, we will not abide by this type of criminal activity. So I thank the partners, and it is my privilege to introduce my friend, DA from Delaware County, Jack Stoltheimer.
Thank you very much. Last week when we had a press conference and talked about fentanyl and the great work we've been doing collaboratively to stop fentanyl from being distributed in our communities, I mentioned how my brother had died just a few years ago of a lifetime of drug addiction. I'm not alone in that. It's estimated 40% of Americans today know somebody either in their family or in their close circle of friends who has died of a drug overdose. And that goes to both what the Attorney General said about these poisons being sold in every kind of community, but also into the power of the drugs that are being sold. And General, I'm a lot older than you. I can tell you that this is a lot different than the war on drugs when I was growing up as a kid. These synthetic opioids are so powerful, fentanyl alone is up to 100% more potent than morphine is. And Kevin, I can't thank you enough for the wonderful grand jury report that you released last week about the vape shops that are selling very powerful marijuana to our children. We have to stop that as well, and we need help from the legislature, I believe, in that regard as well. But I'm very proud of the work all of these people behind me have done. I want to thank all of the officers for your great, incredible work. As it was mentioned earlier today by Jen, collaboration really is a force multiplier in law enforcement. Now, in Delco, we tend to be thought of as a little bit parochial, and that's because we know that Delco really is the center of the universe. But even in Delco, we all work together, right, Tim? Right, Dave? And we are so proud to have a partner in all of the people who are standing with us, but particularly with the Philadelphia Police Department. And it is my deep honor to introduce Deputy Commissioner Pedro Rosario of the Philadelphia Police Department.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, on behalf of Commissioner Bethel and the men and women of the Philadelphia Police Department, General Sunday, I really want to extend my deepest appreciation and thanks for the hard work that you and your team have done in putting this operation together. You know, no longer can we operate in silos, and echoing the General's words regarding this is a big city problem. This is a problem that affects our entire region, and the only way that we can attack and win this type of battle is by working in collaboration. So the Philadelphia Police Department will gladly support and continue to collaborate with the Attorney General's office, but more importantly also with my colleagues here that are standing here before me. You know, it really is an understatement to understand the power of these drugs and what they can do to individuals in our communities. And unfortunately for us, that blight is incredibly seen at Kensington. But I can tell you now that, and we all know, it affects our entire region. It's affected our entire country. So it's important that these collaborations, these teaming up together is absolutely essential in attacking these problems. And again, on behalf of the department, but more importantly on behalf of the community that I represent, General Sunday, I want to extend my deepest appreciation and thanks. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Okay. Well, thank you, everyone, for all your hard work. I can't tell you how grateful I am, and I know the entire Commonwealth is, for all of these efforts that are being made. I always want to end by thanking the people that, to District Attorney Steele's point about the analysts, and I appreciate him bringing that up. But there are hundreds of people that don't stand here that get to talk about these things when they happen, and these are the officers, the analysts, everybody that is putting themselves in harm's way literally every single time they pull a car over to build this case, and all of our collective gratitude goes to them. We appreciate them, we honor them, and we're grateful for the work that they do. So thank you, everyone, for covering this today. If anyone has any on-topic questions, feel free to, we'll take a few right now. If we can answer them, we will. This is an ongoing investigation, so I want to remind everyone that there's some things that we have to wait to talk about. Yes, sir.
Yes, it was mentioned that there were 94 arrests.
Yes.
Are these people being characterized as users or drug dealers? That's the first question. I'll take it. And second would be the 12 guns that were seized. Can you tell us more about these guns? Were these guns that dealers had, or were they guns for personal use?
Yeah, so, all right, so in terms of the arrests that went on, it's a combination of, different levels. There's drug traffickers that we were able to apprehend that were bringing, these dangerous substances out into our counties. They were arrested. They will be prosecuted. There was also stops that were made of people that were using and people that are endangering the streets by driving under the influence. Some of them were arrested, but some of them got help and were directed into areas where they could seek help for their substance use disorder. guns. These guns were found in the car stops that were conducted by these officers. And so when General Sunday talks about the dangerous nature of this, drugs and guns go together, and we see that all the time. And these folks, we identified one immediately as being a stolen weapon. We're going through and determining, the origin of the others, and those folks will be prosecuted for carrying illegal guns if they didn't have a permit to carry a gun in that. And that, in combination with the drugs, is again a very dangerous area. So, that's a general overview of that.
Kevin, how did you determine where to set up the checkpoints to catch these guys as they were coming back from Philadelphia?
Well, I'm not going to tell you, Vinny. But what I'll tell you generally on this, and I think what you see represented here, is folks that were the collar areas between Philadelphia and our counties, and everybody worked together in this. We're identifying people in the city that are selling drugs to other dealers, to users, and then people are driving into our counties. I can't tell you that there's only one route they're going to go. There's a lot of routes that they can go. And that's why this collaboration of all of these folks working together and working in conjunction with one another, sharing information, working on teams together, I think that's the part that we're so proud of. I said it the other day, like one team. This is our law enforcement team working together, and it's great. And there were more relationships that were made through these operations. So I expect this to continue and to just get better. And that's the aspect of this. Like, dealers beware, because if you're selling drugs and it's coming out to us, we're going to prosecute you for it, and that's what we're looking at doing here.
Can you talk about that next phase? All of you guys talked about everybody, these dealers, traffickers need to be on notice. What does that mean? What is happening behind closed doors now that you talk about?
It's not closed doors. They're arrested. You're arrested. You get.
What's happening behind your closed doors that you can share about this next phase?
Again, nothing's a closed door at this point. We arrest you. We do a criminal complaint. You go before a magisterial district judge. They set bail. A lot of these people are incarcerated at this point, and then it will go through the system. And it goes through the system in all of our counties. And I'll let Jack and Jen jump in on this, but that's the operations that we do every day, and we're going to follow these cases through. Go ahead.
Just to give you a little context, when I became district attorney in 2020, up to that point, Delaware County's Narcotics Task Force, which I run under the jurisdiction of the State Attorney General's office, we were doing marijuana cases. We were busting kids for selling marijuana at Widener University or Villanova. We don't focus on that anymore. We focus on the hard drugs, the people who are selling fentanyl mixed with tranq, burning the insides out of other human beings. We're using electronic surveillance. We're using tools that were in the toolbox that we hadn't used before, because we realized that this is the largest narcotics epidemic we're experiencing in this country. We're going to use, and the Attorney General supports this, using every single thing we can to get the dealers off the street. At the same time, the Attorney General is rightly talking about a holistic approach. We're all in our counties supporting substance use disorder programs, people who can get recovery. They need to be given a chance to do that. We have the Attorney General's LETI program in Delaware County. We're trying to supercharge that even more. So we're doing a lot that we can't just, tell you about every single day, but the arrests that were made as part of this operation, as Kevin said, are going to continue. We do this work every single day. These officers, supported by many people behind them, as Kevin has rightly said, they grind this out every single day because they know they're protecting some parent's child. And that's what this is all about. We're trying to save young people And the ones who have already fallen victim to these predators, we're trying to get them into recovery and get them the help they need. So people don't end up like my family that's lost a brother.
And one last point, because you asked a question, is, you know, this is all throughout the entire Commonwealth. There are DAs in counties all throughout PA. There are police departments that are doing this. One of the large arrests that we made a couple months ago, around 200,000 doses of fentanyl were leaving Philadelphia to go to Pittsburgh. Our partners in Pittsburgh are waiting for it. Like, everybody's coming together on this. We had a press conference last week in Northeast PA where we had a large drug arrest, and those individuals were buying it here in Kensington, and they were trafficking it all throughout Northeast Pennsylvania. We had one in Somerset County yesterday. And so this is the way it's supposed to work. And again, I just want to end with my gratitude for all the leaders behind me, and that's exactly what they are, as leaders. And so thank you for covering this today, and see you at the next one. Yes, sir.
You said there was phase 1 in September, phase 2 of Operation Clean Sweep in October. Are you going to do this again at some point?
Well, what I can say is we're going to continue to do this literally every day. And so every time that we make an arrest that we want to get back out and tell people about, we're going to do it. I mean, this isn't like we don't kind of pick this up and stop it. This is 24/7. This doesn't end. This is a full court press from everybody every single day to do what we can to decrease the supply and to help people get into treatment. This is what we're here for. So thank you. All right. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. Thank you for coming, Kevin. Great job.